I think we are live.
All right.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Youth Large Fowl Judging. We've got Mr. Riley Rupp here to judge. We're going to be going through waterfowl as well as our all others. So our goose and guinea will be judged tonight. Um, Want to do a quick shout out to our sponsors before we get super far into it. If you've listened to the last two live streams, so the Youth Bantam and the Open Large Fowl, you already know the spiel, but these people have done so much for the virtual show. They are the entire reason that we can keep it free. We wouldn't be able to do it without them. So thank you to Show Pro Farm Supply, who is donating bags of feed to the winners. All of our champion and reserve of each show are going to get their own bags of feed, custom tailored for show birds. Stromberg's Chicks and Game Birds. They are a pretty big game bird and general supply people, especially up in here in the Midwest. Thieving Otter Farms. If you're on Facebook at all, you'll know Rebecca with her different colors and varieties of Coturnix quail. Bryant's Roost, another big quail breeder in Tennessee. She also does the egg foam that you'll see a lot of shipping videos and informational things on her Facebook. And then we've got Hideaway Hatchery, Well Qualified Homestead, Colladoodle-Doo Homestead. Those are our big gold and silver sponsors, as well as Pips and Chicks here hosting it. We actually, if you're following along in the Facebook groups, not necessarily on our page yet, just put out a new poultry management app. So if you're looking for something to keep your records in one place, we're looking for testers. We've got a free platform that we just started. Um, and then we use proceeds from that to cover things like the virtual show. And then we've got quite a few class sponsors for the show. So the gold and silver sponsors all paid for things like our judges. We try to pay all of our judges very fairly for their time, as well as like this platform, the virtual platform, the streaming services that we put out so you guys can watch it live and we can see your comments and everything like that. So their work is really, really helpful. We don't make any money on the virtual show. That's why we're able to keep it free. And then shout out to the Phantom Farm, Pages Prairie, Barefoot Boxing Farm, Leghorn Lane, Motley Farm, Silky Blues, Gidroy's Urban Homestead, Swift Chicks, J.R. Anderson, MSB Poultry, Glacier Ridge Farm, Chicken Feed News, and Five Points Blue Feathers Farms, who have all sponsored different classes. We'll be giving out rosettes to all of the winners. We've got plaques and wooden carvings for the winners of our class and above for the show today. And I think that's the most of it. We've got another show coming up this weekend. So on Sunday will be our open quail show. And then we just confirmed our judge for open bantam. We were going to have Mr. Monteith judge. Super excited for that. But he had a family emergency pop up. So he was no longer able to judge on the day that last week. And then it just was going to be too much for him to try and schedule another judge with what he's got going on. So we've got Mr. Brian Knox, it sounds like, is going to be our judge for the open bantam. And then we're still working to nail down a date. And then we're hoping next week will be our youth large fowl. So, and then on top of that, I believe it's July 12th, off the top of my head, is going to be our open large fowl and all other with Grace Elizabeth. So, super excited. Jump into the rest of the shows. And then, yeah, show Riley all of your support tonight. I'll be on helping as needed. And if you've got any questions throughout any of the judging, if you see any mistakes or any issues or things with the platform, you want more feedback on some of the birds, let me know right away. Put them in the comments, and we'll make sure that we get them addressed live if possible. And with that, I will let Riley introduce himself.
All right. Hello, everyone. As you already heard, my name is Riley. So I have been showing probably 10 years now. and just the past couple have started judging a lot of youth shows, and I really enjoyed it. In the next couple of years, I hope to start my process to become an APA judge, maybe an ABA as well. So this is definitely a good experience for me, and I'm glad that I could be here to do this. So
Yeah. And we're very grateful to have you. It is very hard to find dedicated waterfowl breeders willing to
waterfowl is
judge.
what I love. So
Yeah. And with that, I will add his screen. I'll get the order posted. It's a tentative order. We're likely going to change it, so we're not going to be judging geese in the middle of our ducks. just just to throw it out there. Same with like their guineas. So the order may change. That is just our rough order for right now, and I'll put it in the comments. And then our general thing that we did last night that worked really, really well is if you don't see your entry up there and you think it should be, or you don't see a picture or you're not sure about something, I'll put the link in the comments. It's the same link that you use to enter. Go ahead, check the entry page, check for the name of your bird on there. Make sure it's entered in the right spot. If it is entered in the right spot and you're 100% sure it's youth, it should have a blue box around it, and it's not showing up on here, send me a message and an email right away, and I'll go and we'll make sure that we can get it in there. Okay? But yeah. Okay, with that, let's get started judging.
all right, sounds good to me. All right, so looks like we're starting with the light duck class and Welsh Harlequins. So these first two are different birds, I assume. It looks like very similar stance there. All right, so in the Welsh Harlequin, the first thing I'm looking at is the body. You want them to have a very long, upright body. The standard calls them tubular. So they should be, very tube-shaped, very long, lean bird. So I'm looking at that. I wish that maybe I had a little better photos of like the head and angle-wise, because these guys here look like they're a little confined in these pictures. So I'd see maybe be able to spread out a little more. But I like what I see so far. See these are young. They look pretty young. It looks like they need some filling out to do. But I like the color so far. It looks like those green heads that they should have, we're starting to come in. This is kind of hard to tell this young. But from what I see, I like this one here for a first. I think this one so far has that longer body that I'm looking for here. And it has a nice back line or top line and underbody to it. It has a little bit better color, I think. So on these, you want them to have a little bit of this brown along in the coverts, the greater coverts here, and along the body underneath the wing into the underbody, just slightly. You can see this one that I did here has a little bit going into, but not so much. The hardest thing with anything this color, whether it's the Welsh Harlequins or the Snowy Calls, anything like that, is just getting that consistency right. It's really easy to get them very light or very dark. So my second one I'm going to pick is going to be this one just above it. The looks pretty similar to it. I would imagine, since they look like they're the same place, I'd imagine these birds are probably from the same hatch. So that's why they look so similar. But I like this one. This doesn't have quite as good color to me. They have a pretty similar body, but it's a little bigger, I think. It's going to be my second. My third here, these third and fourth both, I just wish we had some better pictures, honestly. You want the upright stance and be able to see their whole body standing up. You can see the bird's a little nervous here. Same thing with this one. His head is not quite up where you want it. So just for the quality of pictures, they all look very similar type and color wise. But for the picture, I'm going to place this as my third, and this is my fourth here. So next group. So we have our hens here. So we have two very different style of bird here. So my first one is going to be, excuse me, we have a third one too. So I'm looking at on a Welsh. You want to have, like I said, that nice consistency of color. I like the color, like the shade of this hen. This one on the right here, I think she's just too dark. You want them to have this kind of reddish bay color in their chest, but they should have this kind of white line in their neck, and it has the more of that tan buff color, that lighter color on their head. And you can see there's not quite that definite break in color like you should be, separate, the lower neck and the head there. And on this one, I like the color on her. I think she has too much pattern on her though. Again, like I said, there's too much. I would like to see a little bit going through the body, but not so much to where it goes through the whole body here. And it's a little light for me. Like I said, on the chest there, you want to see that kind of reddish bay color. It should be darker and a different color than the head, and these two are very similar. So I said body wise, they all look pretty similar. This one here, it has a pretty straight neck. I don't have necessarily the curve as much as I'd like to see. So I'm going to go ahead and go with this one as my first. This one down here is my second. The one up here is my third. I just don't think she has as strong of a head, and she's a little bit bigger body bird, which, like I said, in the Welsh, she wants them to be very long and lean, and her color is just not quite as good as the other two. Okay, on to our old males here. Okay, so we have two birds here. So, like I said, you want them to be upright birds. So I think that the one on the left here may be a little too upright, and the one on the right is more horizontal. I maybe like to see that bird a little elevated. But I really do like the color a lot on this bird on the right. That is what you want the color on this male to look like. Like I said, you have this claret color. It's kind of purplish, reddish bay color, and you have a little bit going through the side of the body here underneath the wing, but not so much to where it muddies up all of this underbody, which should have that grayish white color. And as well as on the kind of top of the wing, where it has some going in above the wings here, but not so much to where you can't see, definition or the each feather's marking on it. So I really like the color on this. And this bird looks I think they're both a little too large, and they're too heavy for me, I think, since they are supposed to be a light duck. But I think this one has a better body. It has more round, sweep to it. I think, this bird, its head is not quite as round. It's not quite as clean as break. And it's a very, very steep arch into the back there. And this one is more, easier break into the back, and it's less, it's a little more slightly arched. So I really like the color, like I said, of this bird. It's going to be my first place. I just wish that maybe it was a little more upright and maybe a little bit leaner of a body on it. So it's going to be our second here, but both nice birds. All right, going on to our old females now. So we have, let's see, it's like 4. Okay. So we have 4 birds here. So when I said, so this is more of the body I would like to see. You see, we have more of this tubular body, as the standard says. It very much has that light duck look to it. You can tell by looking at them, they don't weigh very much. Welsh harlequins only weigh 4 to 5 pounds, depending on, or it's a male or female. But you can see she has that nice body, and it's a very clean, underbody. There's not, any bagginess on her. She has a nice clean break to her, no arch in that back. She has that slight elevation that you want to in the upright stance, but it's not so upright where it had a really steep back on her. This one is kind of hard to see with the ankle. I would like to see, more of a side profile. It's kind of hard to tell here. She's not, standing up as much, so it's kind of hard to tell as much on her. But I see I like, she looks a little more rounder and she has more depth to her body than I would like to see. Again, it's supposed to have light ducks be very, shallow bodied. And then going into these two at the bottom, kind of same thing. I want to see more of a clean underbody here. You see she has, and it looks to me like a full crop here. This is probably just from eating or drinking, but see more of that clean underline and more of that tube shape. It should be almost parallel from the top line to the underbody here. You can see it's very, very parallel from the top to the bottom on this body here. This one, I like the color. I think of these, to me, she probably has the best color. I like her color. I think she's slightly too light. If she was a little darker on her body here, I think she would be, she's a good bird. I think that would really put her to the next level. But again, she's not quite as clean in her underbody here, and her stance. I do like, you can see a better example too of that, how you have that color difference between that reddish bay color into that fawn color there in their head. So for me, you always want to put body type before color. And even though she's not as good colored, I'm still going to put her as my number one because body type is the most important thing. Number two, I'm going to put this one down here in the right corner, just because I think it may be a different story if I could see this bird at a different angle and different stance. But just from this picture, it's hard to really be able to compare well with the rest of these birds. But I'll put this one at my third. And on the bottom left, I'll put on as my fourth place, just because not as clean, body as maybe some of the other ones, like this one up here at the front is, or the top. And two, it probably is just because molting is kind of hard to see from this picture. But it almost looks like to me either she's molting, she doesn't have this secondary blue secondaries in, or it's a gold variety, and that's why it doesn't have that blue iridescence. So it's just not quite what I see color-wise on a silver Welsh. All right, so we have, for our best of breed here, best variety, best breed. I guess there is only one variety with them in the standard. So I think with these males here, these young males, they're just too young to be able to tell. They still have a lot of developing. Welsh is a breed that their color changes a lot, especially in the males in the first year or so. So I think they just need more time to grow. I like these two birds. Like I said, they're just a little more blocky of a body, more round. I like to see. Kind of the same thing with these, but I really do like this guy's color. I think I'm going to have to go with, like I said, body is more important than color. I'm going to have to go with her. This hen here, my first place hen, is our best variety, best of breed. Both of those. Just the fact she has the best body. And I'll put this male here. I think this was our old Drake as our reserve of breeds. He doesn't have quite as nice of a body, but his color is really nice. And his body is not bad by any means. I just like to make him a little more lean and not quite as deep bodied, and maybe refine his head some too, where it's not quite so round. But I think that concludes our Welsh here. Very nice birds. No. Okay, well, yes, I'll make me do it again here. All right, so now we are on to our runner ducks. Okay, so we have our gray young females. So two similar birds here. I like the angle of the picture on the left a little more. It's a little easier to see. Looking at these, with a runner duck, obviously you want them to be, standing nearly, completely vertical. A nice head here. You want to be that line from the crest all the way to where the bean is to be completely flat. You don't want to be able to put, like say a pencil or a pen or anything on that beak and be able to have any space in between. You want to be, or convex either. You want to be flat all the way through. And they both have really nice heads. So again, it's a little hard to see from this angle. Nice body though, nice lean body on this bird. Kind of see as much the color. I like the body color looks good to me. Not quite as clean into the wing coverts here. But I think I'm going to pick this one on the left as my first, just for the fact it's a bit better angle and it's easier to see that side profile, which is really important in judging runner ducks. Okay, so we have our gray old hen, right? So again, just a picture, I would like to be able to see the legs and the whole body of the bird in better angle. And she does look to have, she has those really light eye stripes on her too, which is not necessarily something that I want to see in a gray or runner duck here. I want to see these darker stripes here. Yeah, it's a really light color. I think I just accidentally went out of it here. Let me go back to our show, judging, so I can find my spot again.
No worries, it happens.
Okay, where was I? Oh, I think I was a best variety white.
Oh, it might have you go back a little bit.
Okay, I'll go back one and see if that works. Did it get the one before that? Let's see.
You can put a previous group on there too and see if that helps.
Okay, so okay, I'm really not doing well. All right, we'll get this figured out here. Okay, so those Welsh look to be good. Let's see, we get those. Okay, those are good. Let's see, so it didn't get the best of breed. It got the best of variety though. I don't know why I'm having such problems right now.
Weird.
All right, we'll get there. Okay, so it got the best of variety, but not best of breed, I believe. There we go. Be really careful how I touch this mouse, I guess. All right, so I have 1, 2 again. Next group. 1. All right, so here's where I was. So for me today, these two young birds are going to be my first and second here. They just have a better picture. To me, look like better stance on them. Again, it's hard to see from there. I do appreciate the body on this hen here. She has a really nice, long, lean body on her. Again, it's just this picture's kind of dark too. I don't like her face color as much. Like I said, those eye stripes are really light colored. And you can see too in her bill how I said you want to be almost completely straight. And you see she kind of has that concave bill here. So she's just not quite as good today as the other two. Okay, so we'll go on to our white now. We only have this one. What I can see looks really good. Oh, it went to the next thing here. Maybe. Okay, now we somehow ended up in geese.
We did have this yesterday where it would sometimes skip.
Well, some reason we added geese in the middle of this. Okay, let me go back to
geese were coming in a weird spot, but it wasn't after the light ducks. If you want to finish up light ducks,
okay.
That'll.
Yeah, let me find where that white was. I think this was it. White, yeah, that was the one. Okay, so like I said, I like what I see on him. From here, it looks like good head, good bill. I like the very length of the neck and the body a lot, the leanness of the body. Again, it's just kind of cut off. I would like to be able to see the whole bird, the legs, tail, all that good stuff. So it'll be our first today. And I guess that's our only white, so it'll be our best variety white. All right, so now so I already did those. Okay.
Should be 5 total runners.
Okay, best variety. Okay, so now now I have an unrecognized one.
There we go.
All right, so this one, unrecognized variety. This one is just not. It has the height that and the neck that I like to see in the body. I would just like to see again the more lean body on this. It's just too wide of a body bird for a good exhibition runner. As well as I'd like to see that more curved head and that really long, straight bill on them. So it'll be our first today for that variety here. And then for all right, so we have our best of breed now. So for me, it's going to be between these two up here today. I really want to give it to this white male here. I like him a lot. Again, the only thing stopping me is just the picture quality. I can't see the legs or anything. So it's just hard for me to go past best of breed with him. Like I said, what I see looks really good, but I think I'm going to have to go with this gray for my best today, just because I can see the whole bird. It's a nice clear picture. It's still a good bird. So I think I'm gonna have to go first, and the second will be our best or reserve breed will be the white male. Okay, so now we're in the black and white magpies. So we have a young male here. All right, so similar to the Welsh Harlequin, you want a relatively slim-bodied bird with an upright stance, not obviously quite as much as a runner, but you still want that upright stance. And then obviously the magpie, one of the most important things I would say, Standard actually allocates even more points for the coloring on a magpie than any other breed. Just because the pattern is so important. You want to have that perfect cap on their head, and then you want to have that saddle going to the tail. Nice color in them. So I'd like to see a little more cleaner underbody. She has a little bit of bagginess there. I do like a little bit of the depth of breast, but I like to see a little more nice clean sweep into the back here. Just look like a little bit bigger, wider bird than I'd like to see in the magpie. As well, I'd like to see maybe this color cleaned up a little bit where it doesn't quite come out so far down the body, as well as the tail. Maybe kind of this cleaned up a little bit here. Same thing with the cap, just kind of cleaned up a little bit. But not a bad bird by any means. All right. So kind of similar things here. I just like to see the color cleaned up more like that first one that I saw. A more refined head and body. This one has a better sweep into the body, a better underbody and top line here. So I see, again, better color, a little more refinement. And the same thing can be said with this one. This one's not quite as easy to judge, simply just from the angle, that back angle here. I'd see, again, more better side profile picture. So this is going to be my 1, and this will be my 2. All right, so it's like for best variety now. So this first one's going to be my first place. She just had better, had better body, I think, overall. She's a little baggy underneath, a little wider bird, but I like her head. She has a nice refined head I'd like to see. She has the best color of 3 of them. It's, again, like I said, it's very important in the magpie breed. So that means this one's going to be our second, or our reserve variety here. Just not quite as good overall package and color-wise as the first place. Okay, so it looks like these are only 2 in the breed, so same placings there. All right, so on to so we finished our light duck class here. So I like both of our Welsh a lot. Both the runners are good. I mean, honestly, this is a good class. I think today for me, it's going to come down to the runner and the Welsh Harlequin today. If the Magpie had a cleaner color, he can be able to compete in this class, but it's just color is just not quite where I'd like it to be. And it's competing against some very tough birds too. I think today, I think my first place is going to be this Welsh Harlequin female. She's going to be our class winner. Again, really nice bird. I would just like to see her maybe a little darker in the head and then have more of that reddish bay into the breast and in the back here. Overall, I really like her body. That's exactly what you want the Welsh body to look like. I think for my reserve here, I'm going to go with this gray runner. I would like to see. I would like to be able to go with this Welsh male if he had the more of this body that the hen has. Because if he had this body, the same body as this hen had, the same exact body type with that color, he would have been our class winner today. Okay, on to our medium ducks here. So we have our cayugas here. So we have three, let's see, young males here. Okay. So looking at the cayuga, I feel like a lot of people get them too big. They get them too round. A lot of times they end up looking like black pecans, which is not what you want. They have a very, the shape that is much different than the pecan. They should have a more refined head and more slender body. You still want to have a nice deep bodied bird, but not quite as much as a pecan would be. So again, you want the black bill, black legs, for all black plumage with that green sheen. You don't want the purple. So today, let's say some of these, especially this one down here, looks really young. But what I see looks promising. It's just hard to tell with a bird that young. See if I can look a little closer at this one here. I wish I could see maybe it's hard to judge black birds like this, not in person, just because it's hard to be able to see the lighting. Because it's hard to tell whether the legs are too light or if they're just right, in the lighting. But it's like there may be a little orange coming through on the legs, but that could just be the picture. It's kind of hard to tell. Same thing with the bill. I can't tell if that's light like that olive color or if that's just a reflection off that dark bill. It's hard to tell picture. And I really like what I see with this bird here. I just wish I had the full body of this bird. It's hard to be able to judge with just part of it like this. Today, again, like this one is just, I think, too young today, so I'm gonna I'll put this as our third today. I think eventually when this bird does get older and then more developed, it will be a lot better bird. Again, it just has a lot of growing to do. I think today, I think I'm still going to go with this one, even though the picture quality is not as good. It's because I just like overall what I see more on this bird. I like her head. Her bill is nice. She has a lot more of that sheen that I'm seeing. And this will be our second place bird. It's just kind of harder to see this from this angle here in lighting. All right, so we have our young females now. So again, I like this one. It's a really good picture. I like maybe to see a little more, more profile, and not so much head on. And again, I like to see the legs. That's an important part of cayuga is that leg color. So hard to see a lot there. And this angle doesn't show a lot of that sheen. But I do like her body a lot, and her head. She has that nice refined head I'd like to see. So it's a large wide head, but it's not blocky or too over exaggerated. her, I'd like to see maybe a little bit more in her head. She has a little narrower fine for me in this neck and the head here. So she's going to be our first, and she's going to be our second here. Going into our old males. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So again, I would just like to see, the whole body. I really like really nice sheen, but the bird's doesn't look like it's in its natural, posing state. It looks like it's a little alarmed, so it's not quite posing or, calm. I really like this. Is a really nice picture, really nice bird too, as that nice green sheen all the way through. The primary, secondaries, the coverts, everything. They look really nice. Everything on this bird looks pretty good, really. I like to see maybe a little more thickness in this neck. I think it would make the bird look a little more balanced. This bird on the bottom left here, I would like to see, it may just be the lighting again, but see not quite as much of that sheen going in the body as this bird does here. It does. I do appreciate the depth of body though on this bird. I think it has a little bit better depth of body as this Cayuga here does. I like this one a lot. Again, it's just the colors look so different just from these pictures. But I like the body. I like the type on it a lot. I like the body. Sheen looks pretty good. Doesn't look like it may be as good a condition as these other ones, but still a real nice bird. All 4 of these are really nice birds. I think today, my first place. See, I really like these two in the corners. This bird I don't think is quite as well conditioned. And again, maybe it's be the lighting. There's not as much sheen on it. I love the sheen on this bird, but the neck just seems a little longer than I would like it to be, and not quite as wide. So I think today, I'm still going to go with this bird. It has overall condition. The sheen's really good. It still has a nice body to it. And again, it may just be the way it's standing there. It's just a little bit better of a picture, and it's posing better than what this other one up here is. This is going to be our second. But this one is our third here, and I'll put this as our fourth. It does not have as quite as depth of the body as these other ones do. It kind of has that same problem. And again, it may just be the picture, but it looks like it's not quite as balanced here. All right, our Cayuga hens. We only have one here, but she does look nice. Maybe a little more upright, and I'd like to see her a little more horizontal stance. But color looks good. Sheen looks good. It is a little darker picture. I can still see that green sheen coming in the back and the tail, the wings, breast, everything there. So looks good to me. It's just maybe not necessarily she's not posing the best in that picture. So, okay, a best of variety now. So, I believe, I really like this bird a lot, but I just wish I had a better picture. I think my first is gonna best of variety / breed is gonna be this male here. He's just the best overall. Put the other bird, really good picture here. I think my reserve variety and breed is going to be this. I'm going to go with this other male here. All right, so we have these two for best breeds. So on to our next one. Okay, so now we're in a geese. So I'm going to go find the other medium ducks. I know there was some before we go into the geese.
The geese, for whatever reason, it pulled medium geese in the middle of
That's okay.
the.
Okay, I found. Is this? Let's see.
Yeah, I believe.
So I see the Swedish here, but I didn't know if there was anything before that. I didn't want to miss it.
There's Cayuga, unrecognized, Swedish, and buff.
Okay. See, I click on the unrecognized, nothing shows up.
So if you go
Unless
back,
I was on the wrong one, I think. Okay.
there we go. Yep.
Okay.
I
Is
think
that
they were most of them were Anconas. We had quite a few
so?
Ancona reach out.
Geese. Okay, here we go. All right. So start with this one on the left here. Ancona. So it's hard. I mean, again, I'm not as familiar with the Ancona since we're not a recognized breed, but I've only ever seen black and white Anconas, similar to magpies. So it's kind of hard to know necessarily this penciled color on here as well. But for Ancona, I mean, the body looks good condition here. I mean, everything looks good. I mean, it's kind of hard to judge something that's not recognized because there's not necessarily a standard body type or color, but condition looks pretty good here. This bird here looks like a khaki Campbell. So I think that's actually what it is instead of an unrecognized breed. So that definitely looks like a khaki Campbell hen. I'm not sure this picture here, nothing is showing up. I don't know if you can see anything, but I cannot.
Go ahead, give it just a. Okay, if it's got the little file icon and it says the name there, it won't load in. Usually,
Okay.
from most of the entries that we had in the large fowl show that did that, not all of them, but most of them were entered after the show period was closed. If it just has a blank card with like no name and no little file icon, it usually is just not loading in. It'll take a minute or two.
It has that
But,
little file
yep.
icon on it.
So that one may have been entered. We had also a short period, like I think it was the 28th, where entries were down and weren't working. I tried to reach out to everyone who entered, and most of them were able to re-enter. But if they weren't, I wasn't able to
Right.
they weren't able to get their entries in. So
I
if
can
that
always,
is,
I can
yeah,
always come back and check it later just to see, but I guess I'll leave it for now.
yeah, go ahead, judge the rest of them. If that is your bird or one of your who's ever watching, if that's your bird or if that one of your birds did that, go ahead and email me the picture and I'll send it to Riley and have him judge it after, give some comments, and we'll see if it changes the placing at all. Then we keep it fair.
All right, so let's go ahead and do these other two. So I think, even though this is actually a khaki Campbell recognized bird, I'm going to go with this bird here. It's a better picture, I think. I can see, the whole body. I can see the color very well. This one's kind of hard to see, a lot of the pattern on the bird, even though I do like the angle that it's from. So I will come back and check on this third one later. Hopefully something will show up. All right. So I have another Ancona here. Again, this looks like some kind of reddish brown in here. I've only ever really seen Anconas with black on them. So again, I'm not entirely familiar with them. This one says Cash is a mallard, which mallards are actually phantom ducks. Again, kind of like the Campbell, it just looks like it's in the wrong class here. But for a mallard, kind of to see the size, like you see, it looks like it's a little big though, maybe a little smaller bird. And they should be very long and lean, racy bodies with a lot more refined head here. So I'm going to go with our Ancona here as our first and our mallard as our second here. Okay, more Anconas here. So let's see, we have some more here. So let's see where this bird, like its neck and back. That shape is the outline because there's one behind it. But this is more of the ancona that I like to see, and more I'm used to seeing. Where it kind of looks like it has the same body type I would see on a magpie. It's a little bit stockier of a bird, a little more depth and body to it, a little rounder of a head. And I like that stance on them. To me, these two are a little, or at least this one is a little too elevated for my preference on them. Um, this one, the head isn't quite as smooth as I'd like to see. You can kind of see that little break in the head there, and that may just be from breeding too, where feathers have been pulled out. Just not quite as a nice body shape as this one too, and I really like the color on this one. So this was going to be our first place here. I'm going to do our second. I'll do our second as this one here. I'll do our third as this one. Our fourth is this one. It just has a lot more of an upright and narrow, or upright stance and narrow neck and head than the other ones. So yeah, I like to see this a little more bulkier of a bird and a little thicker neck on them, body. So, okay, so best variety here. I guess they're all being judged together. So I'm going to still go with this one. I really like Pebbles here is my best. And my reserve is going to be, oh no, I did it again. Okay, maybe it'll be easier to get back to this time.
And while he's jumping back to where we're going, again, if you've got questions, go ahead. Ask your questions below. All the questions, really appreciate it, and we can take the time to answer them. And then yeah, show some love for our judge.
Right. So, okay, I may have to do these again here. Okay, so I got those. Okay, I think I'm back where I was now. Yeah, best of variety. So this will be our best, and our reserve I'm going to use as, I'll use this one next to it. There's in that same class. Okay, so back to geese again. Let's see, I think Swedish is the next one. Okay, so this one does not really look like a Swedish. This one looks more like have a magpie or ancona, which they do still. Magpies have the same irregularly black marked feet like Swedish do, but I'm gonna have to probably disqualify this one just because it's not a Swedish, and it's kind of just hard to judge it in the class. It's a little different when it's in the unrecognized variety class, but it's not does not have the characteristics of a Swedish there. Okay, I think. Okay, now we have buffs. Okay, here's the next one. So, is this? Yeah, I like this bird. I'd like to be able to see the rest of the body. It's just kind of cropped here. Now on the buff, and I've hardly ever seen any that are perfect in color on the males. They should have this pretty much even buff color all the way through the head without, you don't want this powdery kind of blue head, but majority of them have that. With that nice buff color all the way through, but looks like a nice male. I like the body type on him. Color just not quite even in those wings, and it's just kind of a tough picture to see too. They don't get the whole picture, but what I see is pretty good. So, see, I like her a lot. I like her head. I like she has that nice even buff color through. Again, her wings are not quite as even, but that's a very common thing. I really like her body though. Color is good. She's a pretty nice bird. So our best here, I'm going to go with the females are best, and the drake is our reserve. Okay. Okay, so now I think we should have best to medium class. So it's just between the Cayuga and the buff here. So I think today, I think I'm going to use the buff as my best in class. I like this Cayuga a lot. Again, I just wish, and it may just be the way he's holding his head, I wish he'd put his head down. This neck just seems really long and a little narrow for my liking. If he had his head down and had that thicker neck, he would, I think, easily win this class. But she just has the better overall body type to me for what that breed should be. Even though her color is not quite as even, that body is more important to me. And I think so I'm going to use her as the best. And I think I like the buff male too, but it's hard to place him any higher with the bottom part of him cut off there in that picture. So this Cayuga is going to be our reserve of the medium class. Okay, so on to our heavy ducks now. So first one's a Scobie, chocolate, young male looks like. So what I'm seeing looks like a pretty nice bird. He has nice caruncling. I like that. It's not overdone, but he has that nice clear line where it is kind of what looks like a mask. Relatively short bill. I like the head on him a lot. Nice even color. Really nice color on him. Nice horizontal kind of flat body. You can see he's kind of getting the white. It's kind of tell if that's in the wing bows or if that's further back. I think that's a little further back. Overall, pretty nice bird. So he'll be our first. I don't know. At least I was the only one in the class, so maybe they'll just make me start at Scobie again.
There should be a few others. There should be 8.
I got out of it again. So okay. So I did. So there's the Cayuga. Or no. Oh, okay. I went to the medium class again. It showed only the Cayugas, which means I need to go do the buffs again real quick. Okay.
It's weird because it should be saving.
Right, because I finished that class, so I was just confused on why it is making me do that again. But okay. Okay. All right, now I think it should be best class again. So this guy is going to be our second, and this will be first again. And I don't know how I do this. I guess I can just place him. I guess I can place the other two just because I have those 2 seconds. So I'll go ahead and do 3 and 4 there, just so they're not, none of them are the same. So, okay. Now we're back to him. So have him placed. He's only the variety. Okay, so that's variety. And he's a nice one. He can withstand some competition here. So, okay, so blue young male. So these two, this one's a clear choice for me. The bird on the right is going to be our first, and the one on the left is going to be our second. Okay, well, maybe. Okay, here we go. So this is that better body type on the Scobie I'd like to see. A nice, deep, long body here. This one's not quite as big bodied. And you want to see that blue color all the way through. You only need it with just the white and the wing bows like you see in this male here. Those colors just not as good on this one. Grunkling's not as good. I'd like to see some more around the eyes and the head there. So this will be our first and our second. Okay, blue Muscovy, old male. Is that not what I just... Oh, that was young male. Okay. This one looks a little light colored to me. Kind of see from that picture. Almost kind of looks like a silver instead of a blue. Could be wrong. Could just be a lighting. But just not quite as good condition. The tail and the wings are just kind of rough condition. Color has a nice white wing bow. I'd like to see maybe a little bit too much coloring, but I'd like to see that consistent blue all the way through the neck and head there. But the head looks nice, the shape, crinkling looks nice. So I'd like to see a little better color and condition there. Okay, blue old females. So just these two here. So I think this is going to be my first, and this will be my second here. So this one has that better body shape, and it may just be this one because the way this one's walking and the angle. You see that nice, more flat stance in the body, their tail that goes straight out instead of this one is angled up here. And it's just not quite as good at the Muscovy body that I'm looking for. And I think she has a better head on her. Overall, I just think she has better color, better type. Okay, so back to best variety blue. So this guy here is going to win this one here. And the reserve variety, and we're going to give to this one here. Again, that's the darker blue that I'd like to see. Again, I can't tell if that's just a lighter blue or if that's silver from that picture. But okay, unrecognized. So it has kind of black and white one here. So again, I just like to see a little more crinkling on the head, a little bigger body bird, a little more depth in that chest and underbody here. Okay, I did variety. All right, so we have him again. Okay, already judged chocolate there. Okay, now I have black. Okay, young male. So looking in this guy, I would like to see a little better side view of him. Let's see, he's a young male, yeah, so he looks pretty young. I like the head, nice head, crunkling shape to it. Maybe I see a little more refined head. That could just be because of the feathers on the back of his head, though. I would like to see better color. That's the first thing I notice in this guy. I see maybe a little better leg color. I would like to see, I can't tell if that's just a feather missing there, if that's white, but I see a nice, clean, even black color with that green sheen through the body here, not this black kind of penciling leaking through. It's kind of hard to see the back here. But that'll be our first. All right, I think best variety there. Okay, I think it's best of breed now. Okay, so there's two birds that stand out to me here. That would be the blue male and this chocolate male here. So today, for me, what I'm looking at is, the three main things for me are, body type, color, and then the condition. So I like the body type on this guy a lot. I can see his wings don't look like they're as of good condition, and his tail, normally his tail would be longer. This kind of see it looks like those are probably old feathers that haven't molted through yet. And it's just kind of not as good of an angle to be able to see through this guy. See this guy here? He's kind of a weird angle here. He's going to be a reserve. I really like this chocolate male here. I love his body, especially for, I believe he's a young bird. Has a lot of potential. I like him a lot. Nice even color, great body. Again, my only concern may be with that white feather there. It's hard to tell just from this picture whether it doesn't look like that's quite a wing bow, or it should be. It looks like that's almost into the coverts there. So maybe a little too far back. But outside of that, a really nice bird. I like him a lot. So he's going to be our first. and our best of variety, or best of breed, excuse me. All right, so we're on their pecans now. So I have, see, 6 birds, it looks like, this class, and this is the old male. Okay. So these first two, my first thing is just picture, trying to see from this angle. This first one almost looks more like a runner duck, just the angle it's at. So it's hard to properly judge him just from that picture. Sounds like with the other one, I can't see the body, the feet, can't see a lot of the bird with it. This, better picture is what I'd like to see. Pecans are one of my favorites. They're just a really fun breed, a pretty relatively easy breed to raise, I feel like, for youth who want to get into waterfowl. So if there's a lot of kids who want to get into them, a bigger waterfowl, I would recommend them. They're very friendly. I like, this is one of the things I love about them. They have this nice, deep body through them. They have this oval head. It should be round, but it should be oval, so it should have a long head too. And you want to be really wide head. Obviously, it's kind of hard to see with the pictures, but I like him a lot. I'd like to see maybe a cleaner break. You can see a difference here, cleaner break and sweep into his back here. You can see how it's kind of like almost a 90-degree angle in his back, how this one has a nice cleaner sweep into the back here. So I like that. They should have an erect tail, but he should be still kind of subtle, nice sweep into that tail. Or this one, it's a little more exaggerated than I'd maybe like to see. Again, that's being very nitpicky. I really like this bird a lot. There's a great body, depth of body, chest there. I love the thickness of the neck, nice head. Like to see maybe a little bit, more of a crown, because in a pecan, you want the, you can see in this a good example, the crown should go into and make a pretty sharp angle with this bill here. It should, like I said, the runner, you want the crown to be a very flat line to the end of the bill. Pecans are very different. You want it to be a very round and sharp, different, difference between where the bill and the head is. So I keep using this bird as an example because this is, I think, the best bird of this class. It has great bill, a nice head. I would like to see a big, and being very nitpicky, I'd like to see a bigger eye on this bird. They have nice big blue eyes, and I like to be able to see that a little better. But I love the head. The crown's really nice. Really great thickness of this neck here. Great body, great depth. Have a nice angle. It's supposed to be a 40-degree angle on them. So it's going to be our first place bird here. So this bird here, again, the picture quality is just not as good as I'd like it. You have the tail and the bill cut off here, and it doesn't have quite the angle or station, whatever you want to call it, and just body depth and thickness as his other ones. So my second, it's going to be between these two. I think I'm going to pick, it's hard to see this, I like to see again more of a side angle of this one. I think for me today, just because of the angle, I'm going to pick this as my second. This one will be my third. My fourth will be this one. And fifth, just because I can't see a whole lot of the bird, I'll pick is this one here. It's just too hard to see anything. And this looks a little, less wide, thick bird. Doesn't have quite as depth as the rest of them do. So, but a nice class of birds. There's definitely some good ones in there. All female pecan here. Okay. So on her, I like the depth of body. Again, I like to see a little higher elevation in that stance. A little bit, more thick and roundness in the crown. More of a distinct break between where that crown is into the bill. But not a bad bird by any means. Again, I'm being very nitpicky here. Okay, well, it went to ruin, so I think, I said, no, I just need to at least pick the best of breed pecan, so I'm not sure what happened. I don't know where the pecans, the loosen it up in there somehow. Okay, let's go back and try this again. Okay, so yeah, there you go. Best variety / special breed here. So this one's gonna be our best. This is just a really nice bird. My only one thing, again, I like to see a little bit bigger eye. I would like to see a little bit more length in this body. I like to see a little more length, maybe a little bit longer tail to kind of balance that bird out. So I can just pull it apart a little more. I'd like that. But overall, really nice bird. And our second here is going to be this other male from that same class. And again, same thing for breed. It's just only variety. Okay, on Saxonies now. Saxonies are one that I have really come to love in the past couple of years. So you can tell it's definitely a young bird. Saxonies I like. He has better colors than a lot of Saxonies I do see. One have that nice powdery blue head. Should have that little of that that neck ring. I can see that maybe come a little bit out here more. And you want that nice clear kind of bib on them. I see a lot of Saxonies, and including some of my own, that have more of that reddish color coming into the sides, which you don't want. So it's better color than a lot of ones that I've seen. But I like, again, he just looks pretty young, and he's just some time to fill out. Okay, so here's a young female. So she looks pretty nice. And then she has those two distinct eye stripes with the lower one stopping at the eye. So I really like the eye striping there. And this white going from her lower mandible into her neck. It's really nice. I like the color on her. She has that nice, even, rich kind of buff color coming through her. But you can still see, you can kind of slightly see a little bit of that blue in those feathers coming into the back, which the standard says that they should have a subtle blue in their feathers going to the back. But I see some of them that they're almost like really definitely, blue penciled, but it's too much. I like to see a little more subtlety. So I think she's a good mixture of that. I like that. Overall, her body type looks good. I see a little more clean underbody and depth into her. Again, and I think it's just this angle, her shoulder coming out there. I see a little more clean sweeping in the back. But again, I think that's just because of the angle there. But I really like her a lot. The old female. So color here looks pretty good. I would like to see, again, I think a bigger bird here is compared to this other one. You see she has a lot, she can tell she's a bigger bird. She's a lot more length of body in her. This one has. I'd like to see a little more, maybe a little lighter color in her too. A little more in that blue coming in the back here. She just looks like she's a little compact for me. Okay, so best variety here. We have these three. So for me, she is going to be our winner. I like her a lot. And from these two other ones, I think I'm going to pick our male here. Second there. So again, I just like to see maybe a little lighter color, more length of body in her, a little bit bigger size wise. Well, not quite the best picture, but I think when he develops, even now, he has a nice body shape. I think the reason that it just does not a clean underbody here is just because of the angle his leg is at. But I like what I see so far in him a lot too. He just needs time to develop. Okay, best of breed. So I already kind of went through that and why I'm doing that. She just has more of the overall package. I like her color a lot. I like her body a lot. Okay, best of class. So it's a little tougher. So I have 3 birds that stand out to me. So my best of breed from each breed I like a lot. That's where my job gets a little tougher. So for me, I like the pekin. But again, the pekin, I like to see a little more break in that going into that bill, a little bigger eye, a little more depth of body. Maybe a little bit, I think she may be a little too elevated. Or if we can make him a little lower, I think that would allow for more length of body. because you don't want pecans that have relatively long legs, so you don't want to make those legs longer to be able to add that body length to it. So if you can make them not quite as vertical in their stance, it would offer that more body. The Saxony, it's not. It's kind of hard to see. It's in this picture because some of it's light in the sides here. So I mean, I like what I see. It's just kind of hard to see some of the details. I see maybe a little bit thicker head in her, and again a little maybe cleaner body. But again, that's kind of just from this angle, I think too. I really like this Muscovy male a lot, and it's even more impressive to me that he's young and he's looks that good already. I don't know how old he is, but obviously less than a year, and he already looks that good. And I'm not too much worried about the white and the wing bows.
Have someone asked if you judge the Rowans?
Not yet. There'll be. No, that's a good point. I think they were. I started the pecans, and it took me to them, and I went back to the pecans, and I guess I forgot to do them. So yeah, thank you for reminding me that.
Okay. Thanks for the person that caught it.
Oh, and it looks like there's apple yards too. So let me make sure I get those too. Thank you for reminding me.
Yep.
Okay, let me find the.
We have Appleyard, Saxony, Ruins, Pecans, and Muscovies.
Okay, so the ruin and the Appleyard too. I still need to do. Okay, all right. So now we can get the rest of these birds in this class. Okay, so starting out with a really nice guy. I like him a lot. That's for a young bird. Oh well. Okay, now we're going back to geese. It really wants me to judge these geese. I'm telling you. All right, here we go. Young male. So even when he's a young male, he has a really nice developed full body. I like the keel on him a lot. I like the color. Again, it's kind of hard to see in this picture. And this, maybe it looks like it's a little rougher in condition, but I really love the head and neck on this bird. It's exactly what you want it to be. And it has that sweep and in the back here, that angle into the tail. I like that bird a lot. It's a really nice bird. Okay, so I just have these two ruins here. So young females, again, really nice for being young birds. So I think for me here, the first thing I notice, there's something about each bird that I like more than the other. So the first thing I notice here is this underline at the bottom here. So I like the development and shape of this bird. It looks more balanced. Whereas this one, it looks more, a little more front heavy than I like to see. She has a lot more of her weight of this front half, and this one is not quite as balanced as this one. But I like about this one, I love her head. I love her head shape. The color is pretty good too. So I like to see if I had this body and this head, it would be an exceptionally good bird. And they're already good birds as they are, but they each have their flaws there. So, but she's not saying she doesn't have a good head. She does. And because she's young, she still has plenty of time to mature too. But for me today, I think overall, I like this bird more just because the overall body type. Like I said, she's a little front heavy for me. So I think, and it's kind of hard to see penciling in these pictures. They look to be in about the same condition and same color wise. It's a little easier to see the color on this one. So even though I really like the head on her, I think I'm still going to go with this bird for the overall body. But again, it's really easy to get caught up on one piece of a bird, whether it's the head or color or anything. But you got to remember this is a scale of 100 points, and each body part, color, condition, all that is worth different amounts of points. So to me, the overall body, bigger picture is more important than the head there. So okay, so oh no, I'm not doing very good with this thing today. Let's hopefully it won't make me go back too far. Muscovies done. Okay, Muscovies are done. So that's good.
Go ahead and try refreshing the page and then signing back in and see if that fixes some of the problems we've got going on. Because it shouldn't be jumping around that much.
I don't know if it's a website or if it's my laptop too. It's kind of touchy sometimes. So I
Then
did.
it'll take probably a minute or two to load. So
I refreshed it, so we'll see if that helps. So I'll go back to the
yeah,
grooming.
the
So
photos will take a little bit to load in usually, but
that's all right. It did save my placing on the mail at least.
I was gonna say these
Yeah,
for
I'll wait.
anyone that missed the
Just a
spiel the
minute.
last time. There's a lot of pictures to load in, so just give it like a minute or two for those pictures to load. Especially, you said you're on a Mac, right?
Yes.
Yeah, MacBooks take just a little bit longer to process
That's all right.
usually.
I can see. It seems like it's just these two that aren't loading. So
Yep. Well, it'll probably
I
take a
can
bit.
try to go to the apple yards and see if they're loaded. But
There's only 2 apple yards, so you don't have a whole lot of them
okay,
to judge.
and only one of them load anyway. So I guess I'll just go back to the Grimmins and wait.
Yeah, give it a minute. Overall, again, if anyone was on the last show, you probably heard me say this, but there's like 10 gigabytes worth of photos that it has to go through. So
I did already judge these two, but I just want to make sure they load,
yeah,
just to make sure I picked the right picture. I think it was the one on the left that I picked, but
yeah, you can make sure, but or sometimes it may like you may have to clear your cookies or your cache data if it's not for it to load faster. That's just there's a lot of pictures for it to load, but for it to stop jumping pages and save things right.
so that's still not okay.
And those are likely just 2 bigger pictures, bigger files.
That's all right.
For anyone watching, now is a good time to ask your questions.
Since there's this apple yard here, it's the only one in this class. Go ahead and place this. Kind of hard to judge since it's just a little baby here. She obviously needs a lot of time to grow. It's kind of hard to judge a bird that isn't feathered out or developed yet. And this will be, even though I can't see the picture, he's our only one in our class. So I'll go ahead and pick him there, and then I'll go and talk more in depth, and I can actually see the picture for the best of breed here. So give that a minute. No, still nothing. Should I try to refresh it again, or would that be?
I will have you. I'll remove it from here. But I'll have you go and not only refresh but also clear your cookies.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever done that on. Some people have. Some people
I
haven't.
have. I just can't exactly remember how to do so.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I've had to do it on the Mac. But go ahead, X out of the page, and then there should be something like little 3 dots on the top of your screen.
Okay.
And it should say on there something about your data and cookies. If you're on Google, it'll straight up, if you go to your settings, it'll give you an option to clear your cookies. You can search it.
So, which? So it's just, I guess, delete data. Okay, we'll try that.
Yep.
I think I just did it. We'll try that.
Yeah. And then go ahead and then log. You have to go back to StreamYard and present again.
All right,
And
we'll try this again. So
yeah.
it still has me logged in, so we'll go to the show and maybe I can get them to load now. Okay.
And you'll need to share your screen again with us because we
Oh,
can't.
sorry about that. I didn't realize I
You
wasn't
are
supposed
all
to
good.
present share screen. All right. There we go. Should be able to
Perfect.
see it now.
Okay. Let's see if they
Okay.
are loading.
So let's go back to the ruins and see if that's loaded. Maybe
Give
not.
it, yep, give it just a little bit. Otherwise, try and start. Where is it gonna throw you in at the beginning?
So the ruins will end that class. So I guess I can maybe go try a different class and come back to that.
Would
Maybe.
try a class towards the beginning because it's probably gonna load them chronologically. So
Okay.
we've
So
already got
I can start. I can go to light geese if you want.
yeah, that should work.
Say
I know we're jumping around a bit, but
maybe.
I was gonna say they're loading on my computer, so for
So I
the
guess it's
five,
not just me then. So I guess that's a good
yeah,
thing.
I was gonna say I'm already getting emails on
So
people
I can't tell
worried
if
about their
it's
securities.
my end or if it's the website or what. But
Otherwise, we can do this the other way while it's loading. You go back to StreamYard. I'll go ahead and I'll share my screen with you. And you won't be able to click or drag anything, but I can go through and judge them. Like, I can click them as you judge them, if that
that
works.
would be okay with me. So
We'll
at
do
least it's
that until it's loaded on your end.
okay. Do I need to stop sharing my screen with you for now, or keep it?
You can leave it there. We won't be able to see it anyway. It'll just show my
All
screen now.
right, that works.
Okay. I don't know how well you're gonna be able
Well,
to see,
one of
but
them is loaded now.
okay.
The ruins.
Give
So
it
maybe
We'll go ahead. We'll finish up the ducks. I think you're on heavy ducks, right?
yeah. So yeah, I have the ruins and then the apple yards, and I'll be done with that class.
We'll
So
get through those and then we'll see where your computer's at.
okay, that works. So yeah, ruin young female should be one. I think I already did him. So yeah, those should be the two that I'm on. So it was the one on the left that I picked as first, and then the right was second. So
Okay.
okay, and then on to the apple yards, but I think I had to go a ways down to get to from the ruin, or maybe not. So
No,
yeah,
I just saw them on here.
below ruin, I think made Toulouse. There we go. So yeah, I already did that one. I said that one's just a baby there. I think I placed it. Okay, so you have this male. So
I'll go ahead. I'll bring them to best of breed so you can see both of them.
all right. Is there any way you can enlarge that male, that picture of
Yeah,
him? Right.
absolutely.
And I'll open on my end too, see if maybe I can see him. Okay, yeah, I can see him now, so I can go ahead
Okay.
and do them
Is it
if you want.
is it loaded on your computer?
Yeah, I have him loaded up here, so
Do you want to just share your computer then?
yeah, that
Awesome.
works. All right. So I think, am I presenting already? Sharing?
Uh, yep. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll be okay now. His Appleyard male, I really like the body on him. He has that nice full body to him. I see maybe a little more, roundness in his underbody. But again, that's being nitpicky. I like his head. I like the arch to it. I like the fullness of it. Um, Pretty good color, I feel like, for me. Um, the Appleyards are an interesting one because the male, instead of having an entirely green head, they do have this kind of white streak going down the front of their neck and their face. Because of the genetic cross that creates them. They're actually the only breed that has that specific cross. Saxonies kind of have the same situation, but I like the color on him. I like it. It's really a nice bird. I'm gonna make this class a lot more difficult now because I had another good bird to it. So, but that's a good problem to have. So, okay, I already did this one. It's not showing up, but I did already do that. So, okay, I can at least see this one. So this is good. So I have these two. So it's a great picture. It's about as good as a picture you can get on this. I like her head a lot. A nice thickness of neck and the body. I'd like to see a little more roundness down in the body into the keel, but a little more, fullness. But really nice color, nice penciling in the coverts here in the wing, which is not always an easy feat to achieve. I know a lot of other gray varieties like runners and call ducks a lot of times struggle with that. So really nice penciling in the ruin there. I think overall, yeah, type looks pretty good color. Again, I just see maybe a little more depth in that body and keel, and a little more of a clean sweep in the back here. Overall, really nice. The other one here is kind of a tail because it's flipped on the side there. Again, really nice head I can see on her. She doesn't look like she's quite as good a condition, and I'm not seeing a whole lot of color in the coverts, and I don't know if that's just because there isn't really a whole lot or because of the condition and a lot of those feathers are missing or they're old and faded. It's kind of hard to tell, but she almost to me has kind of too much fullness, as in like she's even in a ruin, Aylesbury, things like breeds like those where they are supposed to be almost very low to the ground, almost touching the ground. You still want them to have a nice clean underbody. To me, she almost, and I think again, it's the feather condition. She doesn't quite have that nice clean top line and as clean of an underbody on her. So, and if she was in better condition, it may be a different story. But for me today, I'm gonna have to go with this one on the left. Again, I see maybe a little bit of fullness of body in her. But overall, really nice. She has a nice head and overall nice body and color. So, okay, I think, well, I have 3 of the 5 now. I guess if you want, since those 2 won't load, I don't know, is it showing up on your screen?
For the ruins?
On those first 2, it should be the young male, and I think the young male. Well, actually, I take that back. Now I say that, now they've all shown up. So, just kidding.
It's always how it goes.
Well, at least most of this one has come back. Okay,
it'll keep loading it.
We're good. All right. So now for best of variety. So only recognize variety. I don't know if we have any other ruins in here. I think it's, it's just the gray ones. Okay, but so overall for best of breed here, there's a lot of really nice birds, good quality here. So I think for me today, it's going to be between these first 2 that I see here in the top. So like I said, just the condition. I think she's an older bird, so she's not quite as clean body as probably she may have been when she was younger. This bird's a little front heavy, even though I love that head. Again, I like to see a little more depth and roundness on this hen here. She has a lot more of that. She has a better keel. I mean, maybe it'd be okay to be a little lower, but it needs to be uneven ground too. It looks relatively level there. She has a nice back and going through her tail there. For me, I think she may be a little slightly too arched. You see, I like the back of this male more. Again, he's a little rough in condition, but overall pretty nice. I think today he has a nice length of body I like to see too. Beautiful head. I think he's going to be our first place today. It may just be the angle, but I like to see maybe her legs centered a little more in her body. Okay, so best breed is going to be the same. Okay, so now, see, I already did the apple yard, I believe, correct? Should have both of those done. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, the apple yards were the little ones. They took a bit to load.
Now we should have all the heavy ducks done. So now I should be able to go through and pick my class champion. I'll give it a second to load here.
I was gonna say I've got them loaded on mine if you need it.
Okay, well, I'm slowly getting them in. I have one of the ruins and the pecan so far. If you want, you can go ahead and just do it on yours for now, so we can, for time's sake.
Okay.
Because yeah, I only have 2 of them so far. So okay. So for me, the best of breed in each one of these breeds is really nice. Saxony, the Appleyard, Pekin, Muscovy, Bruin, they're all very nice birds. So if you want, I'll go through each of those best breeds I have. So a Saxony up here in the front, the top left here. I like her body a lot. I like her color. I see maybe a little more thickness in the head and the neck there. So if you want to go over to that Muscovy male, that chocolate male. I like him a lot. And I said the only thing I was really concerned with him was that wing color. But again, males don't always get that white in the wing bows until they're over a year old. So that's not something I'm really concerned about since he's still a young male. Overall, I really like him a lot. You want to go over to the Pekin. I think I've kind of talked about what I'd like to see more of that length of body in the eye and the Pekin there. Let's see what else we have. We have the Appleyard and
I don't have Appleyards.
Okay, it's not on there.
So go ahead, check our Appleyards.
Oh, here we go. Okay, I think I got it now. So maybe it'll show up now. So do I have all of my breeds in there now? Or did I not pick a best ruin on this? Oh, it looks like I did. So okay. All right. So let's see. I would like to take. Let's see. I've looked at Saxony. I've looked at the Muscovy. Looked at the Pekin. So I can see the rumen on my screen still here. I like to take one more look at that Appleyard, and I think then I'll make my choice.
I'll go ahead. I'll share my screen. See the Appleyard. So this is the best Appleyard. This is reserved. For whatever reason, I don't know what it is, but your computer is not uploading things on there.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure why. But
me neither. But so if I go to our heavy class, we should be able. There's our ruin, and there's our Appleyard. Ooh. I think we lost.
Maybe that makes a difference. Maybe it doesn't.
I'm not sure what you did. I think you cut out there.
Can you see? Oh, it's not looking like they're loading still. Class heavy. So no, I'm not seeing anything. So we'll go back.
And he cut out again. I wonder if he's not also having internet issues. Whatever. Ooh. Gotta love technology.
All right, can you see me and hear me now?
I can hear you. You were cutting in and out quite a bit there.
Okay. Okay, now I have them all loaded on my screen, I think.
Okay.
So if you want, you can, if I think I'm still sharing my screen, you can go back to mine.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, so I like the best, like I said, the best of each breed here. I want to just take again one more look at this Appleyard. I really do like him a lot. No, I only concern with this Muscovy is it's kind of hard to see the size of him just from this picture. So right now, I think I'm between 3 birds. I'm between the ruin, the appleyard, and the Muscovies. Like I said, I just like to see more length and body of that peak, and maybe not quite as elevated and a little bigger eye. I like to see a little thickness in the head and neck of the Saxony. The ruin is in a little rougher shape than the other two birds. Are really pristine condition, even though he does have a really good head and body. For me, I think that I'm going to go with this chocolate Muscovy as my best of class. And then it'll be between these two as my reserve. And I like both of them a lot. I think I'm going to go with the Appleyard for the fact that it's just a lot better condition. They both have really good body types and pretty good color on both of them. But overall, right now, the condition this Appleyard is just a little bit better than that ruin is. So I think we should now have our top 2 of the class. So now we should be done with, I think, all the ducks except Bantam ducks, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And
So
there are a lot.
would you like to go ahead and do the Bantam ducks now so we can have all the ducks done?
Yes, please.
Okay. So I can go to it. So I know we have lots of them. So
yes. And again, just worry about the top 5. And for these, we've got like 70 Bantams, like 50 of them are calls. So you don't if you want to just kind of give an overview of why you placed the birds you did, you don't necessarily have to worry about really in depth about each one unless someone asks for it.
Okay, that works. I just want to, make sure that people know why I'm doing it. I don't want a lot of people to wonder why I'm doing it. So
absolutely.
All right. So for me, on these two, I like to see this guy a little better angle here. I kind of tell it almost. I don't know if that's the lighting, but it kind of looks like he's really light. And I don't know if it's blind or just the lighting. I like this guy here. I wish he had a kind of like that peak, and I talked about a little more roundness going and a little more of an angle going into that bill, a lighter colored bill. But of the 3, I think he has the best overall body to him and shape. I want to see him more horizontal than this. I'm going to go ahead and pick this guy, though. I still think he has a better overall body and head, even though he is a strained, kind of a weird angle there. It'll be our third. You can see he's in the eclipse plumage right now, but overall still a good bird, just not quite as much depth and roundness that I'd like to see in a call. Okay, on to our gray females. Okay, we have some better pictures here. So we have how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. All right, so let's start. This one's hard to tell just because of the angle. All the rest of them, this one's a little hard to tell just because it's being held and I can't see the whole body. But the ones that are standing out to me right now are this one here and this one at the bottom here. So I like to see a flat, relatively flat back and top line on these calls. You can see this one, I think, is the best example of that, and a nice round underbody. Good color, good head, relatively short legs. This is going to be my first. My second will be I think my second is going to be this one here. I would like to see her with a little more of a flat back, a little more depth, like this one. But overall, the body, I like the body and color of this one more than I do this one. I don't want to see this white in the neck or in the tail here. Although I do like the nice little lacing. So I think this one is going to be my. I think this is going to be my third. This is going to be my fourth, just because it looks a little compact in the body. It's not quite as the depth or length of body I like to see. Even though I have a cull duck, you want to be round. I still want to see that length of body. So I think this one will be my fourth, and then this one up here will be my fifth. Just for the fact that I can see the whole bird. It's kind of hard to see with a bird being held like this. It doesn't look like it has quite the depth of skull and coloring as well. Good color. So we'll go to our old males. Right, just these two, it looks like. So I like the stance of him. I like the way he's standing a lot. Yeah, I like to see a little more developed underbody on him. Pretty good top line. Color's pretty good. It looks like there's a little bit of brown in his head, but I think that's just because he's probably coming out of the eclipse plumage, so I won't hold it against him. This bird is really full, and I love the breasts, underbody on him. But I don't like the way he's standing or he's slanted down. He want him to be relatively flat again. So if he was more horizontal, I think that he would probably be my choice. But I think I'm gonna have to go with this one for the overall body here. Let me go back here. Well, maybe gray, old male. Okay, here we go. And second for this guy. So this should be the last class in the grays. So we have these three of them here. I'll wait for this third one to load real quick. I guess I'm going to start talking about these two. I like the head. I like to see maybe a little more roundness. Again, I just like to see this more round, full underbody to go with it. I like the body on this girl, but I like to see a bigger head to go with her to match that body. I like to see maybe a little bit better coloring in her. She does not have as good as penciling as this one does. And she has that white in her tail. I like to see a little darker, really darker in both of these. But I do appreciate her short legs here. Do you have this one on your screen? Because it's not loading on mine.
Yes, I do. Give me one
You
second.
do? Okay.
My
that one decided not to load, but it's all right.
Oh, the one. Let me double check. Call duck grace. That one's up ahead a bit. You're looking at best of variety or no? Old female.
It should be the old female gray calls.
Yes. The call duck gray isn't loading either.
Oh, you don't have that one? Okay.
Nope.
All right. So I guess I'll go ahead and place again. I'll place these two, and then maybe we can come back later and see if that's loaded then, I suppose.
I don't think that one is going to load if it isn't loading on my computer.
All right. That works for me. So I'll just go ahead and do those two. Even though the one on the right doesn't have as good of a color, I like to see a little bigger head. Overall, I like the body and balance of her more. And stance to that as opposed to one on the left, and it's more full. So I'm going to put her first, and this one on the left is second. So now best of variety. So we have, so I think all of my first place should be on the left, I believe, except this one. For me today, my best of variety is going to be this girl here. So she has a nice full underbody. She has a nice length of back. I like to see again a little more flat in her, a little more balanced. But we're really good. Like the color. For my reserve variety, I think I'm going to pick. I think I'm going to go. I think I'm going to go too deep in that class and go with this other female as my reserve variety. So I like these males. I just wish that I had some better depth of body to them. And there's not quite as much depth of body and overall balance as those two females. So, okay, and the white calls. So I imagine we have, see, a decent amount of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we'll play small. All right, so I'm already seeing all. I like them all. So now let's kind of pick them apart here. So first one, young male. I like the head on him a lot. Like the body, nice fullness, everything. Everything looks really good. The wings end up with the tail that I like. Everything looks pretty good on there. On this one, on the top right here, not quite as good condition. The wings look like they are longer than the tail, which I don't like as much. I would like to see the wings end with the tail or before the tail. It makes the bird look a lot smoother. And there's these wings coming out here. I see, since he has that really nice depth of body and back, I just like to see maybe a little bit bigger head, kind of like this one, more round, prominent crown to go with it. This one's a really nice guy. Again, I just like to see maybe a little, he has a nice outline or top line here, maybe a little flatter. I see a little more depth of body, and then being very nitpicky. These are all really nice birds. This one is just hard to tell with the angle. It looks really nice, but I see great depth of breast and in this underline here. Just kind of hard to tell from this angle. Maybe a little bit wider of a head there of a skull. I really like this guy a lot. Color conditions perfect. I love how I had that angle from the bill going into the crown there. I love that head, nice big eye on him. You can see those cheeks, a really wide neck, great body, breast, the tail, the wings in before it gets the tail, really nice, very flat bird. I like him a lot. He has that length of body, which is nice to see. I think for me, this guy to me almost has more of a feminine look to him, even though I like him. It's not quite as what in that strength, that I want to see from that, from a male. So this guy's gonna be my first place here. My second is going to be, I think my second is still going to be this guy though. I still really do like the roundness, and I love his head. I just see again maybe a little bit more definition in him. You can see kind of, even though they're relatively small, dogs still want to kind of see that strength, and they look like they have really strong wings. Kind of a really definite head. You can see those cheeks, whereas this is kind of softer lines in the head and in the body here. So I'll put that as my second. My third will be this guy. Fourth will be this one. Not quite as full. And fifth, I like this guy. It's just from the angle. This is a really tough class, and it's just hard to compete with that angle. The picture is hard to compare to the rest of them. Okay, young females, we have, I think, 6. I don't know if that last one's loading on your end or not, but I'll go through the other ones first and see. It may not load either. I'm not sure. But so starting with this first one.
Don't believe it will. Usually, if they've got that little file with the name, it's not going to load.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So I like her a lot. I love the shape of her. She has that nice heart shape. I may actually a little bit bigger head on her, wider head. It looks like good bill. I can't tell if her bill is dirty or if that's black. It's not a disqualification or anything in the hen, but still, ideally, you'd want to have that nice clean bill. This girl, it's kind of hard to see. Like what I see, I like to see maybe a little shorter body or more depth to go with it. It's hard to see, and I can't see her legs or anything either, so that kind of hurts her a little bit. These look like the same bird, so I don't know what you want me to do about that. Do I just place one of them?
You can disqualify one of them and place the other.
Okay, that works for me. I'll go ahead and do that one. Okay. I like what I see, good overall body. So I just see maybe a little bit bigger head. It looks like a pretty deep and big body. I just like to see the head to match it. So I don't mind a smaller bird if it, with a smaller head, but if it has that big body, I'd like to see the head to match it. So I like her a lot. I love that head on her. Really short beak, a very nice centered eye. I love the chest. I maybe might see her back a little higher, but I like her a lot. So this one down here is going to be our first place. She's really nice. Second, I'm going to place this one. It's going to have a nice overall body, a nice length body balance, as opposed to this. These two are kind of tough just because of the angles. I think I'll go ahead and place this one as. Let's see, I already did one. I think I did two so far. Yeah. So 3, just because it's hard to see anything from the top view like that. I love the shape, but it's kind of hard to see anything from the side profile. So we'll do that as 4th. So. Okay, white collar old males. So we have quite a few of those. This is good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13. So quite a few of them, which is good to see. So these two just don't have the condition. This one doesn't have the depth as much either to compete in a class like this, I don't think. Kind of same thing with this one, and the pictures are kind of hard to see. I like this bird more, but it's kind of hard to see. The picture is not quite as clear. This one, hard to tell from this angle because it's more of the view of the front than the side profile. I like this bird a lot. I maybe see a little bigger head, but overall, I really like the body a lot on it. I like the body on this bird. Again, I see a little bigger head. I like this one a lot. I see maybe the head back a little bit. It may just be the way it's standing, but I see maybe the head back and the legs forward a little bit just to have a more balanced bird. These last two, or I guess it's not the last two. I like these next two a lot. Good balance, good bodies on them. I like this guy a lot. Great head and body. Really nice one here as well. This one is just the stance isn't quite there. It's not quite as round and full as I like to see. So my first place is going to be between these two here. So for me today, I think I really like this guy a lot, but it's hard to place him over this one with the condition because the type is there for both of them. I really like his head a lot, but it's just not quite as good condition. I'm going to have to go with this one as my first. This will be my second. My third, I like his head a lot and a nice body. It's just not as balanced as I'd like to see. I'll go with this one as my third. I think, yeah. I like this guy on the left too. It's just not, his wings are a little rougher condition. Just not as good a condition bird. My fourth, I think, is going to be My fourth place, I think, will be this bird. And then fifth will be this one. I really love the head on him a lot. And on a bad body, and the balance is what is just holding him back. So there's my top 5 for that class. Okay, all females. So there's plenty of them. So I guess I like her a lot. I wish she'd put her neck down. I know she's just saying like that because she's, curious or excited, whatever, alerted. But I like to have her head a little bit down because you don't really want them to have much of a neck. This call duck just doesn't have the depth of body and head that I'd like to see as much. I like the body. I just like a bigger head to match on this one. I like this one, but kind of the same thing. I'd see maybe a little bigger head. I love the body though. I like this bird. I like to see just a little more depth in the head and body. Do you have any of these last 4 on your screen? I know that I'm not getting any of them. I know you said that this icon means they probably won't load, but
Let me look and just make sure.
I'm not seeing any of those last 4 on them. So just wanted to make sure before I move on.
You're looking at call male or
This
call
should,
old females, right?
yes, it should be old females.
Yep, all 4 of them are not loading on my end.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure before I moved on. All right, so my first place here is going to be this one here. I think it would and followed by closely this one. I think she would be my first place if she was posed a little better and her neck was down. She was standing more like this, but just from this picture, it's hard to place her like that. As first with that, just the way she's standing with her neck like that, it just makes her look a little off balanced. For third, I'm going to place this one. She's not quite as full, but she still has a pretty good head. That's the difference between these two. Her head's not quite as strong. She's gonna be 4, and this would be 5. She just doesn't have the roundness and depth I'd like to see in calls. Okay, so we have a decent amount of this is the best variety. Okay. So pick the best. This is a tough one because these are all nice birds. So I think for me today, I'm between 3 birds. For me, it's going to be today, I think it's going to be this hen and these 2 males up here. So, like I said, I think I like this guy. He just looks a little too feminine for my like. It kind of looks more like a hen to me. I'm not seeing the sex feather, and that may just be because of molting too. But so I think I'm going to pick between these 2. Now these are 2 a little different type, and one, with this one being a hen, you want it to be a little softer in those lines on her. Not quite as muscular, kind of, but this guy is. I just wish that she was had a little better top line, a little more horizontal. I love the head, it matches the body well, but this guy is just really overpowering. He has a really nice underline. He has that nice flat top line. That, this is what I think of when I think of the shape of a call duck. A really nice head. He's just it's just hard to find a lot of flaws in him. So, and then she will be our reserve here. Okay, blue fawn, old male, only one, I guess. So, pretty good body. Again, I see a little more depth. Head and shape looks pretty good. I like to see a cleaner color, and I think again that's just because he's coming out of eclipse plumage, so not really any fault of his own. Blue fawn female, we have 2 here. So I think I'm going to pick the bird on the right. They're pretty similar in body type. Geese seem to be a little more full, better picture, better condition. So, say best variety here. Is going to be between these two then. So I think our best variety, I think I'm going to go with the male, even though he's an eclipse plumage. I'm not going to hold that against him. I think he's just nicer of them. He has more depth, more roundness to the head. He has those nice cheeks that you want to see. Just overall, he has the shorter, nice legs that I like. Just looks more of that round call shape, and she'll be our reserve. Okay, going on to Snowy. I like this male a lot. I like this color on him a lot. Just like that Welsh male I saw earlier. I like the color a lot. Really nice head to him. It's a little kind of oblong here, and I think that's just because of the way he's holding it. But overall, really nice. I see again maybe a little more depth, but again, being very nitpicky, I like him a lot. Okay, old male. So Snowy. This one looks like I like him a lot actually, but he's a gray, not a snowy. So it's hard to judge him in this class. So I think I'm gonna have to DQ just because it's not the right variety. He is a nice bird though. So this will be our first for this class then. I see a little more rounded head instead of that kind of oval shape, and more, nicer like this one, more the nicer round sweep into the underbody here, into the chest, and more a flat top line there. So, okay, that's the variety here. So this guy on the left has better color, I think. He has a better over body, head. He's just going to be our first place today. More round, call-duck shape. Okay, have a pastel old male here. Like the color on him a lot. It's a really good color. Pretty good body too as well. I see maybe just a little more balance. It looks like he's kind of leaning forward a little bit, and I think that's maybe just because the placement of his legs there, or maybe it's just the way he's standing. But overall, a nice bird. You have an old female here. I like the color. I like to see this again, more depth in her. She has a little bit longer legs, not quite as deep. So maybe a little bigger head on her. But yeah, he has more of that depth and roundness that I like to see. So he'll be our best variety, and she'll be our reserve. Unrecognized. I imagine this is probably maybe a black call. Again, as a baby, there's not a whole lot I really can judge off of. Okay, old female here. This looks like, I would assume, a penciled or a pied call. Some people call them. She's just not in the best condition, I think. A pretty nice body, though. It's just kind of hard to see that balance with or maybe that's just the picture. I kind of see the feathers now. I think that's just the straw in the background. It's kind of messing with my vision here. But not a bad bird by any means. She has a really good type to her. So just because of the age, this will be our first, and the baby will be our second.
Do you want to check really quick the old white male calls that were pulled for best and reserve variety?
You sure
Someone
can.
said they weren't sure if it was imported correct or brought in correctly.
Old males, you said?
Correct. And then which ones you had picked and which ones showed up for best and
So
reserve. E2.
I picked I think this was old male, correct?
Yep, that looks like old male.
Okay, so yeah, my first and second, I picked these two. Or at least oh no, I did pick this one. Okay, I remember now. So is that not, are those not the two that showed up?
If you want to double check and reserve a variety and just make sure they're still placed the right
Okay,
order.
I'll go
Or best and reserve a variety.
variety.
Yep, it was right there.
Variety white, I think. Yeah, it looks like they're both there. Yep. Those are the two I picked. So.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Okay, where was I? I was in. I think I was on my best of breed, I believe. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay, so now on the best of breed. So there's, to me, okay, so I'll start at the bottom, work my way up. The unrecognized ones, you can't really go further just because they're not recognized. There's one's a baby, one's not as good condition, anyways. The blue fawn, it's just not quite as developed in the underbody here. Not quite as nice of a top line. It's just as full. Again, kind of same thing with this guy here. Not quite as flat on the back, and the more that top line or the underbody, nice round kind of boat shape you like to see. Nice round head makes the head angle kind of makes his head look a little strange. Blue fawn, kind of same thing, just not quite as powerful as this white and the grays look. My top three are going to be between the two whites and this gray female here. So I don't think I can go too deep into the class of whites. I like this gray female too much, so I think I'm gonna have to pick a gray and the white. The question is just which one. So I think for me today, they have great heads. Color on her is really nice. Everything looks nice. I think for me, I'm gonna have to go with the white today though, and have the gray as my reserve breed, just for the fact that he has a nice length of body and that nice top line, where she is a little shorter body bird, and that's not quite as good as that top line. Those are really the only things it comes down to for me. Because her color is pretty good. Maybe it's a little light in the tail, but overall, really nice. Really nice birds. There's a lot of really nice call ducks in here, so definitely a tough breed to get through. All right. So now to unrecognized breeds, Australian spotted. Okay. So I have these three are all young males. So kind of have that snowy pattern again here. To me, the best, I like this is the best picture, I think, because it's standing the best. This one's kind of hard to tell again because just the angle. I think he's a little too dark for me. So I like these two color-wise. This one I think has the best color. But I like the body on the bottom one the most, I think. I do like the head on this one, though, as well. So let's compare. I think I'm actually going to go with this one up here as my first. And then this will be my second. And then third here. Young females. All right, so there's 4 of them. So she is going to be our first. I like her stance, a real nice body, color is good. Our second is going to be maybe this one here. Even though it's not the best angle, I like the color. I do like the overall body, just not quite as good, I don't think, as the first place bird. And you have one that's too light and one that's too dark here. I do think I think probably the lighter colored one is the better of the two. I mean, the color is off on both of them. So like kind of, one's not necessarily better colored than the other. I like the overall body. I think of this other one more in a stance, just the fullness of that one. So that'll be our 4th place. Okay, Mandarin. So yeah, not recognized by the APA, but they are recognized by the ABA actually. So they'll be our 1st place there. Nice birds. They look pretty young, I will say. Or maybe it's because he's going through eclipse right now. Wrong thing. So are these? I guess these are. But that's supposed to be the male, and that's the female. Okay. So best I recognize is going to be the spotted female that I picked for my first place in her class, and reserve is going to go to that male that I picked. Okay. Okay, more unrecognized stuff. So there's Mandarin again, kind of hard to see from that photo. Color doesn't look too bad, it's just maybe not in the best condition. Okay, so I think now we're the best of all of these, I think, but it's still going to be these two spotted. Okay, so mallard, very nice variety. So I guess it's not a gray. I guess does kind of look like one though. First there again, this baby can't really do a whole lot with it. It's kind of the same thing with this one. So this one, so she's too, for a mallard, I would say she's definitely too big. Too small to be a ruin, but too big to be a mallard. So mallard should be relatively almost flat in stance, so a very long, kind of tubular, racy body like a East Indies should have. So just not quite the body that I'd like to see on mallard. So that looks more like, light medium duck than it does a bantam. So the best of three, I'm still going to go with the older one just because of age. It's hard to go with these really young birds because there's not a lot to go off of. Okay, so now our best of class bantam duck. So it's kind of hard to pick the spotted just because they're not recognized. And the mallard isn't competing today very well with the calls. The calls are just too overpowering, just too good. So my best reserve class are going to be the two calls. I picked for best reserve breed. They're going to be our best reserve bantam duck. So I believe now that concludes our judging of the ducks. I believe that's all of them.
Yeah, it does look like that.
Okay, so now we can go back up to geese. If you want, I can start with the light geese.
There should be an option for best overall duck.
Oh, okay.
I want to say it may just say best overall waterfowl. I'm not sure.
After bantam duck, it goes in the guineas and then turkeys. It just has
Okay.
a best in show at the end. I'm not seeing. Maybe you see one. I'm not seeing.
We'll start with the geese, and if it jumps us to a best duck, we can choose a best duck. Otherwise, we'll do a best overall waterfowl.
I'm not seeing one. All right, so we'll go ahead and go to the geese then. So we'll go to I guess we'll start with the brown Chinese then. So we'll start with this one, old male. A little bigger than I'd like to see him. Chinese are supposed to be light geese or relatively small. I like to see a more upright body as well. A very long, skinny neck, very pronounced knob. Just a little too big of a body bird for me. So best variety. So onto the white. So we have this one. So more of that kind of slender, slim body that I'm looking for. Again, I just like to see a very a more upright stance, very arched, very skinny neck with a very refined head, the big knob on them, and the picture is just kind of cropped too, so it's kind of hard to judge fully. So this looks more like the exhibition type I'm looking for, even though it is not necessarily the best pose. More of that smaller body I'm looking for, more of that slender neck with a more pronounced knob. So this is getting more into what I'd like to see. Again, maybe a little too big of a body bird, but overall not bad by any means. A pretty good knob on him as well. So of our best, he's going to be our best white, and then she's going to be our reserve. Our best in reserve, again, is going to be the whites. They just have more of that slender, refined, smaller Chinese body look that I'm looking for. Okay, so back to the runners. Are there any? I don't think there's any other light geese. So I guess I don't need to pick a light goose since the Chinese are the only ones, correct?
Let me look.
Unless I just missed the light goose thing.
For light,
Because that's
there's
the
only Chinese, yeah.
Okay, so I don't have to pick it again. Okay, so did those, and then the only other geese I think you had was the Toulouse, correct?
Correct. There should be 2 Toulouse.
I guess there's some Sebastopols too. I see now. Or I guess there's some unrecognized geese. So I guess we do have a decent.
Oh yes, we've got Sebastopols and medium. Sorry, those are in the medium ducks or by the ducks for whatever reason.
Okay, that's fine. I'll just go down the list here. So Toulouse is the next one. So nice Toulouse body. I'm looking for a nice big dewlap, nice head, nice arch in the back, into the back there. Nice length body. I see maybe a little more depth in that keel, in that underline, but not a bad bird by any means. Same thing with this one. This may like a little more. Again, it's a young female though, so she has plenty of time to develop. A little more development in that keel, maybe a little better condition. She looks a little ruffled there, but again, not a bad bird by any means. Of these two, I think I'm going to have to go with the one on the left, just because she looks like a more balanced, put together bird, I think. And they both need some time to develop. I think right now she's just a more complete bird. She has more better condition. She's just more show ready at the moment. But both definitely show a lot of promise. So these are only 2. So I'll be our best in reserve again. Okay, so now just Sebastopol. So okay, silver Sebastopol. So not a recognized variety, but not a bad bodied bird. I'd like to again see more curls, more feathers. And again, it looks like they're going through molt. I can see a lot of broken wing feathers and stuff there. But again, the biggest thing is just condition there. So that's the variety there. So okay, now we're getting to the whites. So kind of see since he's sitting here, but looks pretty good when I can see. Again, I just like to see longer, more feathers again. Again, a young bird just needs time to develop, I think. The younger male. So here's 2 birds that have more feathering that I like to see. I like the head on this guy on the left. But today I'm going to go with the bird on the right because it has better feathering, I think, better condition. I really like that length of body. I think that length of body and size is an important thing. Sebastopols, a lot of them are small, short-bodied birds. So today that's going to be. Oh, actually, I take that back. There's 2 more. Just kidding. We're not done yet. So I like this bird as well. Of that nice long-bodied bird. I like the width to him. This one is not bad at all. I like the body. Again, I just like to see it, more feathering and maybe a little longer bodied bird. So I think I'm going to pick I think I'll pick this as my second. Let's go ahead and be third, and then this will be our 4th place bird. Old female. I like her head a lot. I like the thickness to that in her neck. Body looks good. And it's like to see, better, more feathering. Those basketball, you want lots of, those curly feathers on them. So it's just conditioned for me right now. I think overall for a best of variety, I think I'm gonna have to pick this male that I picked for my best of that class. Just best condition one I think right now. Best overall body, length of body is good. Um, I think from my reserve, let's see, those were. I just had the one female, correct? Yeah. I think the female is going to be my reserve. She doesn't have the most feathering on her right now. I really like her head and overall pretty good body, and it's kind of just to see necessarily from this angle as well as this one. I think those are my best two for right now. Best of breed, I'm going to go with the whites again, just because they're the only recognized color. And they're just, to me today, better body type birds than the silver one we have over here. Okay, so now I have unrecognized breed, which looks kind of to me like a Pomeranian. It's a pretty good body bird. Nice clean bird, color's good. Let's see. I think these are all ducks, I believe. Yes, that was all the Anconas. Do I need to pick a best of class, medium class for those geese?
Yes, please. If there's
I got to the end of the Sebastopols there, but then it stopped.
If you know which ones they are, I can write them down as
Or
well.
maybe
And
here, I see a couple more too. Oh
okay,
yeah, it
there are
showed
some
this goose. I
recognized.
put this goose here in with the
Oh, okay.
it looks like with the ducks.
Go ahead and let me know what your best medium goose is, and
So
I will have put the
best
name of it.
medium, best in reserve for me is still going to be the two white Sebastopols.
Okay.
All right, so I think that should be concluding the geese, unless you need me to pick like an overall goose or something.
If you want to pick an overall goose, that'd be great.
Okay, let me go look at the Sebastopol and the Chinese one more time. Or I guess in Toulouse too. Um, let's see. I can find them here. Okay, it's white Sebastopol here. Okay. Toulouse again. All right. And then I'll look at the Chinese. All right. So for me today, I believe the white Chinese male is going to be my best goose, and reserve is going to be the Toulouse.
So you said the best is Sebastopol and reserve is
The
Toulouse?
best was the white Chinese,
Sounds good.
and then reserve is the Toulouse. So, do you want me to pick an overall duck, even if it's not on here? All right, just like I did
Yeah,
with
if
the
you can
geese.
do that, that would be
Okay.
great.
So between all four classes, I assume. I know some do like a standard duck and then the bantam duck. I didn't want to just do them all together.
I'll keep all the ducks together, so just a
Okay.
best and reserve
All
duck.
right. So let me go through my class winners then. Light class. So I have the Welsh. Um, I remember I have the Welsh, the Muscovy. I think medium was a buff, if I remember correctly. Yes. And then Bantam was the white call. Okay, so I think for me, I really like the body on that Welsh, but I think she's too light colored, and I think that may hold her back today. So I do like this buff female a lot. I like the Muscovy. I'm gonna find him. I do like him a lot. I'm gonna look at him real quick again. I do like him a lot. There's really not a whole lot of faults. Again, I know that color, and it's just kind of hard to tell the size on him. Look at that call again. Again, it's hard to find any faults on him. I like this bird a lot. Okay, for me today, I think the best duck is going to be the white call. And then our reserve duck is going to be the chocolate Muscovy.
Okay.
All right, so that
And
should be
then,
all the water.
yeah, best overall waterfowl.
Okay, so let's go look at the goose again. I think for a waterfowl, for me, it's still going to be the two ducks. So it's going to be the white call and then the brown or the chocolate Muscovy.
Sounds
So,
good. And then if you
so
want to do turkey and guinea, and
all right,
I think
all
that's
right,
just about it.
all righty. All right, let's go. This is our guinea. It's the first on our list here. So we have a white young female to start with. Okay, so it looks pretty good. I like her body a lot. Nice depth to her. Shape is good. Head looks good. Helmet looks good. I think it's just an angle. So there's not much of a tail, but I think it's just the way she's holding it. But overall, it looks pretty good. Good condition, which is not easy to do on the white ones. So I think she's the only one with that variety. So lavender young male, looks like. Okay, I like him. It looks like a great pattern. It's just hard to see from this angle. If I had a good side profile and I could see the legs, that would help a lot. What I can see, I like. I think the rest of them are pearl or a purple one. Okay, so purple. Purple is not a recognized color, but I like this bird a lot. I think that it's just not quite as clean of a underline and body as I like maybe. And I think that may just be too because looks like they maybe been drinking or eating too, which kind of affects that underline. But not bad by any means. They've all looked good so far. So starting with the pearly young male. So like him, I like his body. I like to see him stand a little better. They put his head up, kind of. He looks a little nervous there, so it's kind of hard to see. But pattern looks good. Body looks pretty good. And I just like to see a little elevated stance there. A little better, but okay. So I have 3 here. Oh no, I was doing so good. Okay, let's hope I don't have to go through those again. Okay, so I've kept those, so we're good there. So they keep the white. Okay. Purple, or lavender, purple. Okay, now we should be back to where I was. So I like these all look like good condition birds, which is nice to see. This one is kind of hard to tell just because there's not he's not staying still, and its head I can't see its head fully. But these two, what I see, look good. So I like both of these. This one at the bottom looks a little more balanced. This is how I want to see them when I see them stand. Because on the guinea, you want to kind of almost be when you in the middle of their body. Like if you put a mirror there, it's kind of like the head and the tail should be in opposite corners, balanced on the body. So I think this is gonna be our first place bird. I like that one a lot. She looks really nice. This is gonna be our second. This will be our third. Both look like nice birds, but just picture quality, it's kind of hard to judge that one very well. Okay, best of variety. So same thing I just went through here. Or actually, well, did I judge the other one already? Oh, yes. Okay, the young male is by himself. Okay. All right. So yeah, the one I just went through, I like her a lot. She's my favorite, I think, of them. And then this will be our second. And again, just because the stance, she looks really nice and calm, relaxed. This one just looks pretty tense. It's kind of hard to see exactly what they look like. They're not posing the way they should. Okay, so our best of breed now. So I like the white. In the lavender both. Purple's nice too. It's just not recognized. The lavender and purple, or the lavender and white, excuse me, I'd like to see just stand better. The pearl's going to be my best. She's a really nice bird. For me, my reserve, even though they're not standing the best, just from what I'm seeing, I'm going to pick the white as my reserve. Okay, so best and reserve. So yeah, I really do like that pearl female a lot. She has a nice big dots on her side and into her tail. I really love that her body type is exactly what you want from a guinea. Head looks great. Really nice birds. Okay, into our turkeys now. So start with a white Holland young male. So looks good. Maybe a little rougher in condition. It's kind of hard to tell. I almost wish in turkeys I had two different pictures. One of them fanned out and one of them, just standing normally. Because it's kind of hard to tell sometimes when their feathers are, puffed up like that when they're fanning. But from what I can see, it looks pretty good. I may see a little more depth to the body there, but again, it's a young bird. So, let's see. Okay. So our bourbon reds here. Do you have the first picture loaded? It doesn't have one of those little file symbols next to it, so I didn't know if maybe it would still load or not.
Let me pull in, but and see.
I just wanted to check with you before I judge
Yep.
this one.
Um,
Do you have it then?
I am getting there now. Yes, I do.
You do? Okay, so yeah. If you want, I can go ahead and do that on your end because I don't have it yet, just for time's sake again.
Sure. Let me play this one.
All right. If you could zoom in, I can see that second one on my screen pretty well. But if you could zoom in on that first one, maybe. It's kind of cut off from me here.
The screen share makes it a little bit. Here, let's just do this one instead. There is like a scroll thing up there to make your images bigger if you need it.
So let's go. Let's refresh it maybe. I'll get them now.
Okay, I brought it up on my screen too.
All right. Well, I'll just do best I can see from here. So again, it's kind of hard to tell too because they're both at different angles here. I like the body I see on both of them. They both are a little flawed in color on that tail. They should have a little bit of that red tinge on the edge of their tail, but they shouldn't have any solid of those red feathers on them on the tail. So they both kind of have that problem going for them. You can kind of see from the color. I like the color of the one on the right more just from the picture. I mean, they may be the same, but the one on the left looks a little dark just from the picture. Just for me in this one, I think I'm going to go with the one on the right as my first place. Just from picture quality, I mean, they both look like good turkeys, but overall, it just looks like a stronger bird to me. Okay. All right, so you could go scroll down a little bit for me, and I should be able to see it pretty well.
I only have just this one. Let me go back and make sure I've got.
All right, that's fine.
Give me a second. And then, did you get the young female?
Let's see, I got the male did show up. I do not. The young female is not showing up on my. Oh, maybe she is. No. I don't know. I think it's strange. Some of them are showing up, but some are not. No, she's not showing up on my screen. So
Okay.
she looks really nice. I like her a lot. Hard to see from there, color wise, how dark she is just from that picture. But overall, I like her a lot. So good body type to her. Nice fullness. So
The old male.
okay. Again, really nice. He has a lot better color. That's the color that you want. He has nice, clean white wings. He has that the white tail feathers with just the red tint on the edge. Looks really nice color on him. I like him a lot. He looks like a good full-bodied bird too. So my best variety is going to be between the two birds on the right side of the screen. Let me see. Maybe I can get them on mine now. Maybe not. That's all right. All right. So I like both of them a lot. I mean, again, it's kind of hard to see, her tail color on her. Because, one's fan and the other one's not. It's kind of hard to see, overall body type. But for me, again, I like her. Is there any way you can click on her picture and maybe I can see it? I'm just trying to see better of that color. I do like both of them a lot. They're both really nice. I think today I'm going to pick the male as my best of variety, and the female is my second. I do like them both a lot, though. To me, again, just from the picture, he has a little better color, a little lighter color. I like this is that deep red color, but it's not quite so dark. And I do like his tail a lot because he has that nice white with just the red edging on it, so it's really nice. Okay, so it looks like we have a bronze young male. Okay, so all right, so young male, so a lot of developing to do, but what I see looks good so far. Again, bronze, I mean, the feathers will be changing still some as he ages. He just needs time to develop, I think, but what I see looks promising. Is this only one of the variety then?
Oh, yep. Sorry.
Okay, you're fine. I'm just trying to make sure we don't miss anything. All right, so Royal Palms next. So is this an old male or young male? It looks old. Okay. All right, so Royal Palms are probably my favorite variety of turkey. So one thing the standard does say in there, they should have the double band of black on them. They should have one at the bottom of their tail too. I have never seen a palm in the U.S. that has them, so they're very hard to come by. But still, overall, very nice bird. I like him. I like nice full body. I would like to see maybe a little better condition. The tail and the wings look a little rough. I like to see maybe a little cleaner color in those wing coverts and kind of in the feathers around his breast. Not quite as clean, crisp black lines I'd like to see, but overall pretty nice.
Variety. Unrecognized.
Unrecognized, okay. So I'm trying to figure out this maybe sweetgrass, maybe. I'm not entirely sure, but looks pretty good body. And it's kind of hard to tell from that view, the angle, but just condition of tail, I think, is one. Just evenness of color. I can see some lighter feathers and throughout the body. It's a little more consistent coloring, but it looks pretty good to me.
Slate.
Okay, slate. All right. So a little bit of the black ticking in there, but that's not a major flaw. That's to be expected with a lot of blue breeds. Overall, pretty good color though. I do like the fact that it's still slate and not kind of a bronze color. A lot of times, blue can easily fade into kind of brown. So I do appreciate this have nice even color through. Overall, pretty good condition. I mean, the tail is a little rough, but overall, it looks like a pretty good bodied bird to me as well. So overall, pretty nice.
Slate.
Okay,
Best
so
turkey.
best breed now. Okay, so if you could scroll down a little bit. Okay, so for me today, I think my best three. I'll start with that. It's gonna be the two bourbons and the Royal Palm. So if you could go through each of those three.
So, two bourbons and the Royal Palm. I'll throw them in order. Okay, so we'll do. And this is not the official order. This
No,
is just to get them in a nice.
that's okay. They're just kind of like to see them somewhat together if possible.
Royal Palm. Nope, it's gonna spaz out on me. Okay. I think this is the closest we're gonna get, and I can zoom in on any one of them.
That's fine. Yeah, if you want, just go through each one of them for just a minute, just so you can kind of glance at them. Again, really like the bourbon. It looks like he may have a little light colored feathers just above his coverts there, maybe a little tinge of white, maybe, or that may just be the fluff underneath the feathers too. But overall, I really like him a lot. Really nice turkey. She's really nice too. Again, maybe a little dark, but again, that could just be the picture. But it's kind of hard to see the head. It's not exactly clear, but I like her a lot. She looks like a nice, clean colored bird, which I appreciate. I can still kind of see the reddish tint on the tail. But if you want, you can go ahead the Royal Palm there. So again, to me, I think today the difference between them is just he's not as good a condition. The tail feathers and those wing feathers are just a little rougher, like in those secondaries. And the color is not quite as clean in those wings and the breasts as I'd like. So I think I'm going to pick today my best and reserve turkey as both of the bourbons.
Okay.
So yeah, the males are the best, and then the females reserve. So very nice birds.
Cool. So we're gonna be best
Okay.
in reserve of class. I think that is all of the birds, unless I am.
Right. Is there anything else I need to pick? Do I need to? So I saw like the best in show at the bottom.
Yep, so that we did our best waterfowl. We can do a best all other if you'd like to pick between the turkeys and the guineas, but I don't believe we have an award for it.
Okay, yeah, well, I can pick one just so that people can have an idea.
Yeah.
If you want, maybe I'll go to the guinea. Maybe I can see them. I think I can see them.
Okay, I can zoom in too. Between the guinea, the pearl guinea, and the bourbon red.
So I think my top two are going to be that pearl guinea that I picked and that bourbon red male. It just now is a question of which I like more. So I think today, both really nice because that bourbon his tail is not quite as in good of condition. And he has a little bit of that lighter color in his body, a little bit of color flaws and a little condition problem. I think my best all other it would be that female guinea that I picked, the one that I think that says, I think guinea one.
Yep.
So, and then the reserve would be that bourbon red turkey. So
All right.
do you need an overall between like the all other and waterfowl, or is you want to just leave it as that? Okay.
Nope. It'll just leave it at that.
Well, there's a lot of really good birds. I enjoyed going through them. So
yeah, congratulations, everyone.
yes,
Results will be
very nice.
posted. Yeah, results will be posted in hopefully a week or two when we're done with all of the birds. Just skimming comments. I tried to keep on top of them. Someone said they didn't see their guinea. This is youth guinea, so double check that you entered in youth and not in open. Open guinea will be on the 12th. So go ahead and make sure. Yeah, I think that's all. Thank you. Thank you so much, Riley, for judging.
Of course. Thank you for giving me the chance. I really enjoyed it. So it was kind of my first time doing a virtual show. So it's kind of fun to do.
Yeah, definitely some things to keep figuring out and improving on our end, making the platform a little smoother. But overall, yeah, very nicely done.
All right. Thank you very much. It was good to see you and work with you. So
yeah, have a good rest of your night.